Hello everyone, in this video I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Shahbaz Gill to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Shahbaz Gill's words. Starting with the most important news of the day, the ongoing Iran-Israel war. In our previous vlog we already explained in detail how Israel launched a massive attack on Iran. They used 200 fighter aircraft and targeted 100 locations. We also reported on the damage caused by that attack. Now, as we record this vlog, just a little while ago, Iran's ballistic missiles have reportedly reached Tel Aviv, causing what appears to be significant damage. Previously, Iran had also fired missiles toward Israel, but those did not seem to hit their targets as effectively. Currently, international media is also reporting explosions in Tel Aviv, smoke rising and fires breaking out in several buildings. There are many visuals emerging from Tel Aviv, which we'll show you shortly. But first, let's provide some background so you can better understand the context of this major retaliatory strike by Iran, which is ongoing with missiles reaching Tel Aviv. As you know, Iran and Israel have been in a prolonged conflict for years, a sort of Cold War, often fought through indirect proxies. However, recently, Israel has consistently escalated attacks against Iran. You may remember when Israel attacked Iran's embassy in Syria. After that, the Iranian president died in a helicopter crash, which was also believed to be linked to Israeli operations. Later, Israel carried out an attack inside Iran, which resulted in the martyrdom of Hassan Nasrallah, not to be confused with the Hezbollah leader of the same name, and targeted their compound. Besides these, Israel has launched several other attacks on Iran, justifying them with the claim that Iran is an eternal and existential enemy that must be destroyed before it can destroy Israel. Israel also argues that Iran is dangerously close to developing a nuclear bomb, and if that happens, they won't be able to stop it later. So they must act now. Based on that pretext, Israel launched a major strike last night, targeting 100 sites with 200 fighter jets. In response to this, Iran is now claiming that in their latest counterattack, they have shot down 3 fighter jets and have possibly captured a female pilot. Again, this claim hasn't been independently verified. The pilot has not yet been presented publicly. You might remember during the recent India-Pakistan skirmish, there were similar rumors about a female fighter pilot being captured, which were later proven false. So we can't confirm Iran's current claims either. Now turning to the latest situation, hundreds of ballistic missiles have been fired by Iran. In our earlier video on the India-Pakistan conflict, we explained that ballistic missiles rise very high into the sky in an arc before striking their targets, unlike cruise missiles, which fly lower and are generally more accurate but have a shorter range. Iran's missile program is relatively advanced compared to its other technologies. The Iranian missile program has been carefully developed. The Israeli Defense Forces, or IDF, even released an image showing the potential range of Iran's missiles, claiming they can reach as far as India and covering Pakistan, Israel, Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, much of Europe, up to Romania and possibly Ukraine, parts of China, Russia, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan and Turkey. The IDF shared this to warn the world about Iran's missile capabilities. And now, those very missiles are raining down on Tel Aviv. This is the first time such missiles have hit so precisely. In previous retaliatory strikes, Iranian missiles did not reach their intended targets as effectively. Whether Iran used improved technology this time or employed new tactics is unclear. But both Israel and Western media are now acknowledging that the missiles struck their targets. So far, Israel is confirming that 2 people have been critically injured in these Iranian counterattacks, and around 20 others are wounded. No confirmed deaths have been reported yet. However, video footage emerging from Tel Aviv shows chaos among civilians. In one video aired by Turkish TV, people are seen fleeing in panic. Due to the Israeli government building missile shelters and underground bunkers in many areas, people rush to these shelters when sirens sound. In the ensuing stampede, around 20 people have reportedly been injured. It remains to be seen where this conflict is headed. As of now, it appears to be escalating. Israel has stated that they have already destroyed Iran's nuclear capability. However, they won't stop until Iran's entire infrastructure is dismantled. One statement even suggests Israel will continue its strikes until there is regime change in Iran. That is, until Supreme Leader Khamenei and his government are overthrown. Israel claims to have destroyed Iran's uranium enrichment facilities, its command systems, air defense systems, and severely damaged its missile program. As a result, they say Iran's defense system will no longer function properly, and Iran won't be able to launch counter-missiles quickly. This also implies that Israel might be planning even more dangerous attacks in the coming days, which is why they preemptively destroyed Iran's defense capabilities. The coming days will be extremely critical, and Iran's response will determine the next phase of this conflict, what kind of aircraft they have, what technology they can deploy, and whether they can effectively retaliate. On the other hand, the United States has stated that they were not involved in Israel's initial attack on Iran. But if Iran attacks Israel, then the United States will defend Israel, essentially meaning the United States may enter the war directly. Clearly, things are deteriorating. Meanwhile, the Tel Aviv Times, an Israeli newspaper, published an interesting story. They claim that Israel and the United States deceived Iran together. According to the report, preparations for the attack were finalized on June 8th, though planning likely began much earlier. The final decision to strike, likely on June 11th, was made on that date. It's reported that Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu had a 40-minute phone call with former United States President Donald Trump on June 8th. Trump advised him not to attack yet, citing ongoing negotiations, but Netanyahu insisted on going ahead. The newspaper says both countries misled Iran by pretending things were normal. Netanyahu continued preparations for his son's wedding, met guests, and didn't cancel his vacation plans, to create the illusion that no military action was imminent. So Iran remained unaware and was caught off guard. On the other hand, President Trump also made a statement saying that things are ongoing, and maybe an attack will not happen right now because negotiations are underway. President Trump deliberately gave such statements to make Iran feel that the United States is not yet approving, or that Israel and the United States have not yet decided whether an attack should happen or not. The Israeli Prime Minister also said that they have achieved considerable success in the exchange of hostages who were captured by Hamas. Important matters are moving forward, and the talks are heading in a positive direction. This was also said deliberately so that Iran thinks Israel is comfortable and believes in negotiations and is not thinking about attacking. So, on one side, America was giving false signals, according to Iqbal, to Iran and the whole world. And on the other side, Israel and their Prime Minister were giving false signals as well, while simultaneously preparing for the attack. Iran made this attack suddenly. The penetration was very deep. Although information is still coming out and the final details are not yet clear, the penetration was so significant that Israeli agents were inside Iran. Before the attack, just as Ukraine delivered drones deep inside Russia, before their attacks on bases, Israel had penetrated Iran to a similar extent. Israeli agents were not only manufacturing and assembling drones inside Iran, but also had everything timed perfectly. When Israeli aircraft, about 200 of them, started attacking, the drones also began their attacks simultaneously. The attacks were on different locations, involving not only drones but also ground commando teams with guns attacking from different places. This shows Israel's intelligence penetration inside Iran was not only strong in terms of information, but they also had many spies and agents operating on the ground. They not only assembled drones inside Iran, but also flew them and carried out attacks as well as other operations. So, while Israeli planes were bombing Iran from outside, causing destruction, Israeli agents inside the country were attacking from within. As discussed earlier, one of Iran's biggest misfortunes is its intelligence failure. Their Revolutionary Guards also had a big failure in intelligence. They didn't know about the agents who had infiltrated inside. This is a massive intelligence failure. Their army chief, nuclear chief, Revolutionary Guard chief, all of them seem to be asleep. Israel even knew exactly which bedroom and flat these senior officials were sleeping in, with, very precise information. The attacks targeted only one apartment out of the entire building, and even one bedroom within that apartment, where senior Iranian military officers, generals were sleeping. They were killed there. This clearly shows that the Revolutionary Guards are compromised and, their intelligence failed. On the other hand, Israel's intelligence, known as Mossad, penetrated so deeply into Iran that they achieved their objectives. Today, Narendra Modi was also mentioned, who spoke with Netanyahu. Modi has ties with Iran, but expressed concern about the conflict and said they want the war to end quickly. However, Modi's known animosity towards Muslims means he will likely support Israel quietly and continue to do so. He probably also expressed a wish for Israel to shift its focus somewhat towards Pakistan. Regarding Pakistan, the National Assembly and Senate have passed resolutions condemning the attacks and have stated that Iran has the right to defend itself. The United Nations has been urged to take immediate action. Pakistan's President and Prime Minister have strongly condemned Israeli attacks. Similarly, Pakistan International Airlines, or PIA, announced that their planes, which used to fly over Iran to the Middle East and beyond, like Paris, will now use Oman's airspace and avoid Iranian airspace. Currently, the airspace over the whole region is closed, including Iran's and neighboring countries, due to missiles raining down like rain, making it unsafe for any aircraft. President Trump told Iran to immediately agree to a nuclear deal, that Iran should promise the world it will not build nuclear bombs. If Iran agrees, it will save itself from further attacks. Otherwise, Israel will continue to attack, and there will be more killings and destruction. This means Donald Trump has also issued a big threat to Iran. Currently, information says Iran has refused to sit down for further nuclear deal discussions. This makes sense because, while negotiations were underway, Israel attacked. Now Iran says that if you're going to attack us, we won't negotiate with you anymore. Also, locally, all flights from Emirates, Etihad, Qatar Airways and others passing over the region, especially these 4 to 6 countries, have been cancelled because the airspace is unsafe. In 2021, Maryam Nawaz's spokesperson, Kausar Kazmi, tweeted that an Islamic army of 49 countries was formed under General Rahil Sharif. She questioned if this army only guards the Saudi royal family or also defends the oppressed Palestinians. I think that tweet is still relevant. General Rahil Sharif is still considered the head of this army, formed by 39 Muslim countries. So far, Muslim countries have only condemned the attacks and nothing more. In Pakistan, I don't see anyone doing anything beyond condemnation. Finally, I want to share a tragic local incident. A newlywed couple was returning from their in-laws on a motorcycle when the bike ran out of petrol. They were walking on foot to find fuel when about 4 young men harassed them. They gang-raped the woman in front of the man, filmed the assault, and spread the video. Our society reacts badly. Victims are shamed and harassed even more. The couple stayed silent due to fear of stigma and societal pressure for about 1.5 months after the incident. When the video went viral, they were forced to report to the police, but tried to keep their identity secret because, life becomes very difficult for such victims. The attackers not only committed this crime, but then circulated the video publicly a month later. The courage of these criminals is, honestly, just shocking. The couple was silent, fearing public shame, but the attackers kept torturing them by spreading the video. What's worse is that a member of parliament from the Pakistan Muslim League, Nawaz, or PMLN, called the woman to a government office in front of hundreds of people and recorded a video session with her, supposedly to support her. The woman, traumatized by the assault, was made to sit there and recorded, hugged, and forced to make a TikTok video, which she said was done on Maryam Nawaz's instructions. This is shamelessness beyond belief. They have no understanding or care for the woman's mental state, the trauma she's undergone, or her family's dignity. Instead of helping, they exploit her for political gain. If these politicians really want to help, they should quietly work with the police and victims instead of making victims a public spectacle. Mariam Nawaz and others involved seem mentally ill, mentally sick people who should be stopped before they cause more harm. This is a very sensitive matter. That wraps up our translation of Shahbaz Gill's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.